Welcome, everybody, to the Relentless podcast, where I find guests who are willing to commit to some type of 40-day health challenge. Now, it could be anything. It could be nutrition-related, exercise, cold plunge, hot sauna, or it could be giving up a vice like cigarettes or social media or naughty websites. Here's what happens. So the guest comes on before the challenge to talk about what to expect, and then they come back on after the challenge to talk about their experience, and we can learn from them. So if you're new here, throw us on in the background, hang out, and maybe, just maybe, I can earn my way into your regular podcast rotation. So I had an experience the other day, and I feel like it's relatable, especially for dudes. I'm walking behind a woman for like too long of a time to where like I get the sense that like this lady thinks I'm like following her and that I'm a threat.
Okay.
And then there came inevitably the time, and I feel like this is what's relatable, where we go our separate ways. And in my head, like I've been having this internal monologue the whole time. Like I want to tell this lady, like, I'm not gonna kidnap you. I'm not gonna
hurt you. Not gonna hurt you.
And then we go our separate ways, and there's inevitably the moment where I want to shout and be like, I told you I'm not a threat. You ever get that? Has that ever happened to you?
No.
Oh, okay. That's just me. Then I get in the car sometimes too, to a lesser degree, but I feel like if I've been traveling the same route as someone.
The car one is one I do, yeah.
Yeah, and then I'll get off at an exit, and I just want to tell the person, like, I fucking told you I wasn't following you this whole time.
I knew it. I mean,
you know?
could've...
And they probably don't even know you're there.
Nope.
They're probably just going on their merry way.
Yep.
Whatever.
No, that's something I'm hyper aware of, is like my surroundings and things like that. I've always been that way.
Yeah.
Like I'm always looking at the doors and stuff like that, and like the cars that are driving by, and like cars in my neighborhood. When I see new ones, like, oh, I wonder who that is. I don't know why.
Did you ever do any military service?
I didn't.
Okay. I feel like that's a common thing you see with military people. They're very like aware of their surroundings. Same with people who went to prison.
Didn't do that either.
No,
thankfully.
you never been to prison? No. I did a one-nighter in the clink one time.
In the clink.
Yeah. I ate gruel, nothing but gruel.
Oh, God. Oh, office nice.
Yes.
Nice.
You know what? That's actually a good transition to a question I had for you.
Sure.
So I've been doing this a lot here. What we used to do on this channel is we used to build brackets. And I want to get your take on a couple of things.
Okay.
I know you like pretty well versed in the TV universe, TV series.
I like to think so, yeah.
So I want your top 4 Mount Rushmore of TV series. I want 2 of them. I want one on the drama side.
Okay.
And then another on the comedy side.
Okay.
What's like your top 4 drama and then your top 4 comedies?
Okay.
If you were to build a bracket, your 4 number 1 seeds.
Sure. Comedy. We'll go comedy first.
Okay.
The Office, Parks and Rec, Friends. Ooh.
Damn, you had those like ready to go. I didn't even ask you before time. Sometimes I'll, yeah.
4th, let me think. King of Queens.
King of Queens.
Yes.
Okay. So, Office, Parks and Rec, Friends, King of Queens.
Yep.
Okay. I didn't have any overlap because so me, South Park,
Okay.
Seinfeld, Curb, Always Sunny.
Yep. I've never seen Curb or Always Sunny.
Okay.
Always wanted to.
Okay.
And it's funny because now on Facebook, I keep getting reels for Always Sunny, so you actually need to go watch it now.
Yeah. Always Sunny has been kind of holding it down in the whole comedy series realm for going on 20 years now.
Yeah.
It's been fantastic.
Yeah.
One recommendation. You'd probably want to watch the series first, but if you go on YouTube, you search Always Sunny bloopers. By far the best blooper reel out there. Yeah, just you could tell that they're just having so much fun making this show and they all know each other so well that like they'll do one take scripted, but then they'll just go off and do their own thing, and then usually it's whatever gets the biggest laugh that they can keep. That
Office is another. They have great bloopers.
Yeah,
they're so funny.
Yeah, for sure. Office, I was like tempted to put it in mine, and I probably went a little too Seinfeld, Larry David heavy with my like adding Seinfeld and Curb. I actually I'm in the minority because I didn't get into like the Curb Seinfeld till probably like 5 years ago. Like when Seinfeld was on originally, I was Team Friends. I thought Seinfeld sucked. I didn't get it, but now I feel like once it clicked for me,
Yeah.
like it's so good. Like
See, I think it's funny, but I don't put it on like a pedestal like everyone does. It's funny. I don't get me wrong, but it's not up there for me.
Yeah. I could give Friends another rewatch.
Friends is great.
Yeah.
Friends is so good.
Yeah. What about dramas?
Dramas. Number one, without a doubt, is Breaking Bad.
It's not even close.
No,
for
not
me.
even. It isn't. That's probably my number one show of all time, honestly.
Yeah.
Because it's rare drama you can watch over and over again. And Breaking Bad, I could watch all the time.
Yeah.
Let's see what else. Dexter would probably be up there.
Okay.
That's a great show. It's not on anymore. CSI, I was always a big fan of CSI.
Okay.
I always loved CSI.
Yeah, I never really watched much CSI.
Yeah.
It's on before Monday Night Raw, so I've watched like the last 4 minutes of CSI pretty much every week because I'll just put it on because I'll record
For
Raw.
sure.
Yeah.
One more. I'm trying to think. Oh, Ozark.
Ozark
was good.
Ozark was good. I was very tempted to put Ozark on mine. I didn't. Did you ever finish it?
No, I just still haven't watched the last
You ever watched the last episode?
No.
That's interesting. I don't know how you do it. You just don't want to know, or
I don't know why. I just never got back to doing it. And now it's to the point where, like, if I watch the last episode, like, I gotta watch the whole thing again. I can't just watch one episode and then be like, oh, that's how it ends. No.
Yeah.
You gotta watch the whole thing again. So I might do that.
I wonder what that is. Have you done that with any other show where you didn't watch the last episode?
It's a current show, so I don't know if it counts, but Severance. I still haven't seen the last episode of Severance yet.
Okay.
Which also, that's a really good show, too. If
Okay.
you haven't watched that.
I don't have Apple TV.
Okay.
Who's that's not the Ben Stiller one, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Ben Stiller rules.
Yeah. Oh, I love Ben Stiller.
Yeah. I think I could do I should dive into Apple TV for 2 months, absorb all the content because I haven't seen any of it. I haven't seen, what's the Sudeikis one? The Ted
Lasso.
Ted Lasso.
Another
Yeah,
great show.
Haven't seen Ted Lasso. I'm curious about the new Seth Rogen show called The
Yeah.
Studio.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw previews for that.
Yeah, looks pretty good. Apparently they did one episode with all in one take.
Oh, really?
That whole Birdman style of just, the camera tracking.
So do you have Apple Music?
I have Apple Music.
So look at the bundle. You can bundle them together. Because I think Apple Music's like $12 or $13.
Yeah.
And for 20, you can get both.
Okay.
And I think they actually have I think you get Apple Arcade. I've never used that, but I think you get that too. And I think it includes more cloud storage, if I remember correctly. Because mine's $20 a month, and it's all of it.
Yeah, that wouldn't be a bad purchase for a few months just to watch all these shows that have passed me by. But I gotta go Breaking Bad in mine.
Oh, 100%.
Breaking Bad is no question. This one was tough, but I am gonna put it in Game of Thrones.
Okay.
Based solely on every season except the last season. And I didn't even hate on the last season so much as the last 3 episodes. It just took a nosedive so bad. And that's not usually my genre. I didn't really care for Lord of the Rings. No. I don't love the I don't love fantasy, but something about Game of Thrones, just once you get into it and you feel oh my gosh, all of these storylines are going to end up intertwining. That part is what hooked me.
Okay.
And then once you see Jon Snow start mingling with Peter Dinklage and then the whatever, it was just, I never seen storytelling on that level before.
Yeah, I think I've seen the first 3 seasons. If I remember correctly.
Right.
I stopped watching it though.
Did you not like it, or was it just not?
It's not that I didn't like it. I think I just got wrapped up in other things and just kind of forgot about it, I guess.
Yeah, shows will do that.
Oh, yeah.
So Breaking Bad, Game of Thrones, Yellowstone.
I forgot about Yellowstone.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to take out Dexter and put Yellowstone.
Okay. I was going to say Dexter, I liked, but I feel like there were 2 seasons of Dexter that
the ending for Dexter was terrible.
Yeah, it's just whatever. And it kind of dropped the ball. And I mean, if you want to be mentioned within the greatest shows of all time, I feel like you got to be
yeah. Oh,
no mistakes.
Yep.
Breaking Bad, to me, no mistakes.
There's not one.
No, I think there was one season where it was more dialogue heavy and not as much in your face action.
Right.
But it was just to set up for what was coming.
Yeah.
And I think they did a great job with that. So I go those 3. And then I'm not done. There was a new season of it, season 3. I'm not done with it. And it's still a pretty young show. But I got to say, White Lotus on Max.
Very good.
The first 2 seasons I will put up against pretty much any 2 seasons of television.
No, I agree. White Lotus was great. I've seen the first two. The third one just came out. I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah,
though.
third one and they're doing it. I don't know if Max does it, but they're doing just dropping
Weekly.
Yeah, weekly.
Okay.
They're not doing like a whole dump right in your lap.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I don't know. I kind of like the whole like binge watching it.
Binging is cool, but then you just maybe not watch it
Right.
until it's all there, and then you just go. We only have Peacock, so there's like the weird thing with Yellowstone and Peacock, where
it's like on Paramount, then it moves to Peacock. Yeah.
it's so strange. But I just checked, and I think 4 or 5 episodes have been released on Peacock that I haven't seen yet. So
I still need to watch the last season
Mm-hmm.
and then start the newest season, which is the last season.
Okay.
Now, have you watched any of the spin-offs, like they're like 1883 or 1912 or something like that?
No, those are all Paramount, right?
Yes, Paramount Plus.
Yes, I don't. Paramount was the last streaming where I'm just like, too much.
Yeah.
I got Peacock, Disney, Max, Sling, even though I'm getting rid of that soon because literally the only thing I use it for is SmackDown, which is a WWE show.
Right.
And what else do we got? We got like 1 or 2 more. Disney,
Hulu,
Peacock. No, I don't have Hulu.
Netflix.
Yeah. And I knew the reason I picked up Netflix is because of wrestling, because Monday Night Raw is on there now.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah. I know you're a big wrestling guy.
Yeah, huge.
Yeah.
Can't wait for it to.
What did you think about the John Cena heel turn?
Average.
You thought it was average?
Yeah, average, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Good to know. Good to know your take. That's what I thought about, Michigan sports. Average.
Yeah.
That's about how much I know. Yeah. What's your dream job?
Dream job. Wow. It's an interesting question. I don't actually.
Or did you ever have one? Like,
When I was a kid, I wanted to be an architect.
okay.
And realized I wasn't as smart as I thought I was.
You got to be smart. I mean, you got
yeah.
engineering, right?
Yeah. No, it's funny because I actually won an architectural. Oh no, I didn't win. I came in second place in an architectural contest in high school.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, yeah, this is way over my head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny. Okay, so architect. Did you ever have any desire to like work in sports? You're a big sports guy.
Playing sports, what kid doesn't dream of like playing in the NFL or
Very true.
something like that? Basketball, I learned very quickly that wasn't going to happen.
No.
No, not many 5'8" people make it to the NBA.
No. You got to be like Spud Webb or Muggsy Bogues.
Oh, yeah.
And you don't fit the qualifications.
Definitely don't.
Just
Nope.
happens that way.
Yeah. I think it'd be cool to be in like the front office of like a sports team. I think it'd be really cool. Like not backroom deals, but like cutting deals and stuff like that. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, like be a voice when it comes to like you're talking about like trades, like
Yeah.
that'd be
So I'd be like a GM.
yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
I always thought it would be sweet like to be a writer for WWE, but then like on this because I love fantasy booking stuff because I didn't know if you knew this, but it is a predetermined show. So
I didn't know that.
you didn't know that
No.
wrestling was predetermined. So they have like storylines, like writers, and I always thought that would be cool. But then, like, it would be cool for a while. But then, if you just like every week, you got to keep coming up with scripts and stories, and how much can you think about? Like, okay, these two people have to fight, and we got to figure out a reason for them to fight. Sometimes it's as simple as like this person thinks they're better than that person in the ring, and but sometimes it gets wacky, like he's secretly hooking up with his wife, and there's not so much of that anymore. But yeah, I always thought like writing for professional wrestling would be cool.
I think writing just for television in general would be fascinating.
Yeah,
Like, I think it takes a special mind to be like a writer for like TV or things like that. Like, because you watch like storylines. So another show in dramas, it'd be like probably like a very high 2-seed almost one is The Blacklist. That's a great show. James Spader's a great actor.
okay, never seen it.
Oh yeah, really good. It's on Netflix. Check it out.
Okay,
but like the way they come up with these storylines, like how does your mind get to that point?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And my mind doesn't work that way. But yeah, I think it'd be absolutely fascinating to do something like that.
yeah, and it's not just like it's like how many things you have to keep in your mind. Going back to Game of Thrones, like you're not just writing a script; you are like in the minds of like 30, 40 characters at once,
Right, yeah.
and you're tapped into their motivations, you're tapped into their strengths, their weaknesses, their whatever, and just having to keep track of all of mine. And if one character mentions that it's their birthday in November, 3 seasons later, you got to remember that you can't forget that.
No,
and if
yeah.
they're like, oh, it's April, it's my birthday.
Right.
You got to keep all that shit in. Yeah. And I think, going back to some of the shows, I think like there's those videos that come out of like 10 plot holes in Friends.
Yeah, it's like, well, you're going to have those. I mean,
Yeah.
deal with it.
Yeah, exactly. But we didn't come here to talk about TV, did
Okay.
we? We did a little bit.
I did a little bit,
Yeah. We came here to talk about your exercise challenge that you just underwent.
Yes, my squats.
You did squats.
Yes.
And push-ups? So you did squats.
Yeah.
You did the body weight squats for 40 days.
Mm-hmm.
And let's dive into that. So what made you want to do the squats for the 40 days in the first place?
Just overall health. Like I want to get in better shape. I'm getting older. You got to take care of yourself. And I'm not 21 anymore where I can not worry about these things. So no time like the present.
Yeah, for sure. And did you have like a certain time during your day that you set aside to do the squats?
Usually I would do half when I wake up.
Okay.
And then usually like midday or so, I'd finish them out. I didn't want to do them like late at night because I didn't want to get like my energy going like when I'm getting ready for bed.
Yeah.
So breaking up throughout the day.
Okay. And did you notice any like soreness?
Actually, I didn't.
Really?
No, I didn't get a lot of soreness.
Okay.
Not with the push-ups, I definitely had it. I guess my legs are just stronger. I don't know.
Yeah, with the push-ups, you're supporting more in terms of like you're hitting more muscles because the push-ups, it's not just your chest; it's like the back of your arms, it's your shoulders. You're engaging your core, even your legs. Like because push-ups are kind of like a full body exercise. With the squats, it's really all quads and hammies, glutes a little bit, and yeah. So I would imagine if you were to like have like a barbell and do some weights and like add that resistance, it would probably increase the soreness. So we didn't get the metrics this time.
No.
We didn't do the metrics this time, but in terms of like anecdotal evidence, I guess you could say, I don't know if you stepped on the scale at all or if you noticed any just like changes in your mood, mindset, energy levels, anything like that.
Definitely gave me more energy
Okay.
in the morning. That's why I like to get it started, get it going. Weight, I'm down. I mean, it's not much. I think it's like 2 or 3 pounds over the time, which is pretty standard for me. Got about, in my mind, probably about 30 more pounds to go is what I want to get to be ideal where I want to be. So keep it going and looking forward to the next one.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, and we'll have you come in here and do another challenge. Like you and Will are just the tag team bros that cycle in and out of
Wrestling
the challenges.
term.
Yeah, you're a big wrestling guy. So in terms of the 40 days, I don't know, maybe this is a far-fetched question, but in terms of the experience that you had, would there be anything that you would like go back and like tell yourself day one? Like, did you have any hang-ups, or I'll just let you answer the question.
Yeah, no real hang-ups. I would say I don't want to say it was easy, but it was definitely easier than the push-up. So I think where I did try this squat specifically again, I think like you said, adding weights or something to give it a little more resistance because I definitely feel like I wasn't pushing myself as much as I could.
Okay.
Like I was doing 100, but I was going up to like 150, and it was like a breeze.
Oh, okay. So I thought when we had first talked, you were going to start at like 60 and then go up by 10 each time, but you went right to 100 and then
because it just came. I don't want to say it came natural, but it didn't seem like it was. Like I said, it didn't seem like I was pushing myself. So I want to keep. I think there was a day I actually did like 250.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
When you had mentioned you lost 2 or 3 pounds, I would be curious to get you back in to do the in-body scan because
see if I gain any muscle.
Yeah, because with the push-ups you lost maybe like 1 pound, but
I think I actually gained a pound.
You gained a pound, but it was like 3 pounds of muscle or something like that.
Yeah.
So with the pounds lost, I'm just wondering if it did anything like metabolism-wise, or did you change up your diet at all?
No, that's the one I really need to work on. I'm so bad at my diet.
The diet?
Yeah.
We could take a page out of Will's book and just log your food. Not even try to tighten the reins, just log the food.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
All right. Definitely one I'll put on my list.
Yeah. Make a list.
I got a few I'm thinking of.
Yeah. Do you think you're going to keep doing any push-ups or squats between now and when you come?
Yeah. I'm gonna try and maintain the push-ups. Like I said, I kind of fell off a little bit. I like to try and maintain as much as possible, though.
Yeah.
So now it's almost like a routine. Like I get up in the morning, do 50, and then go about my day. So I can definitely do. The push-ups I gotta get back into, though.
Nice. Yeah, you had mentioned the mobility thing, and I was looking into just body weight squats, what they do for the body beforehand. I jotted down a note. It says body weight squats improve lower body mobility, especially around like the hips and knees, which those are like the two to go, like as we age, like the hips and knees.
Yep.
So doing them consistently will make everyday activities like bending and lifting easier. So we talked about it being spring, yard work coming up. I would imagine that doing body squats on a regular basis, when we go outside to like bend down, weed, or like twist and turn, put things away, like that kind of motion.
Sure.
I would imagine body weight squats would come in handy doing that kind of shit. Yeah, but I haven't. I don't really do body weight squats. There's like, so I do a lot of like P90X type workouts. Try to splice those in with like weight training routines.
Sure.
I usually do like a P90X type workout like 2, maybe 3 times a week. But he emphasizes that the guy Tony. I talk about Tony Horton here on all the time, but like there's movements where like if you think, well, yeah. So like this camera's got it. So like you have like a small dumbbell in your hand, and he has you mimic like bending down and like putting it back up on the shelf.
Yeah. Yep.
So it's like, so maybe I'll splice in like a GIF of the movement. I don't know what it's called, but yeah, stuff like that helps with as we get older, which we are.
Yes, getting there.
Ain't no spring chickens no mo.
No mo.
Yeah, but yeah, next time you come back, if you keep the squats and the push-ups going, or both or either. Well, I got a new scale, so we'll have you step on the scale, get those metrics, and see what kind of movements we see in terms of like body fat percentage, weight, and then like I always say, like that stuff to me, like it's such lower on the priority is what I feel like in my brain.
Yeah, mentally, for sure.
I went to Florida a few weeks ago, and just circumstance I couldn't exercise really at all. I mean, we went on walks a little bit, but I felt it like in my brain. Like,
really?
And I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing that I'm so like addicted to the endorphins that I get from exercising. Like, so when I can't, I just feel sad and a little more on edge.
Okay.
But, yeah. So, but any other experiences that you had with the squats over the 40 days that we haven't chatted about yet?
No. I'm like I said, it was. I should have, like I said, I think I didn't challenge myself enough. I'd say we've been one takeaway. I need to make sure when I get the next one, make sure it's a like true challenge.
Yeah. Well, so I was part of that too. I kind of started you off with the 60. We should have gone more ambitious. Yeah. But with the thing with exercise, you don't want to overdo it right out of the gate.
No, of course not. Yeah.
Get an injury or just whatever motivation you have, just like kind of exhaust it all right at the beginning. So it should be doable.
Right, for sure. Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah. I got a pet peeve.
Okay.
All right.
I have a few.
When you have food that's stored, you buy it from the store and it's in a Ziploc, and the fucking Ziploc doesn't Ziploc. You know where you get that a lot? I love Aldi, but Aldi's frozen fruit, the fucking Ziploc, like you.
Oh, on the bag.
Yeah, on the bag.
Gotcha. Okay.
So like you tear off the top plastic part, but then it leaves the zip, so it should seal. I would say 1 out of 4 times the zip actually works.
Yeah, they're pretty bad at those.
Yeah, what I end up doing is just like crumbling the top and like setting it in the fridge so it's like leaned up against something, so it just kind of self seals. But yeah.
That actually makes me think of a recommendation I just thought of.
Yeah. Well, when the Ziploc doesn't zip, bacon.
Bacon's delicious.
Bacon should come with the Ziploc seal. I don't know why it doesn't. You got to take your bacon, slice it out, cook what you got, and then what are you just going to leave it in the unsealed package? No, you got to use up one of your own bags.
I'm a cook it all at once guy.
You cook it all at once?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's worth trying. Yeah. So, fucking Aldi, if you're listening, zip lock your zips.
Yeah, make them, put some engineering on it. It's not hard.
Irks me to my core. I could go grab 2 bags of frozen fruit right now and show them on camera, and they fucking just will never zip.
It's 2025. Figure it out.
Figure it the fuck out, or package it in something else.
Yeah. So that actually makes me think of the recommendation. So there's this YouTube show I've been obsessed with. It's actually through the Wall Street Journal. It's called The Economics of X, and it's like they pick like Chick-fil-A, Aldi, like name a big chain, they do it, and it's just fascinating to watch. Like the way Aldi like they pick their items and just it's crazy.
It's on YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
so it's free watch.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure it's the Wall Street Journal that makes it.
Okay.
And they usually do like a mashup episode where it's like an hour, but they'll do like 4 or 5 different brands.
Oh, okay.
So each of them's like 10, 15 minutes.
Cool.
It's fascinating to
Yeah,
watch.
I know Aldi's whole model is pretty genius. Like from the quarter in the thing to
Yep.
charging for the bags.
Mm-hmm.
It's all just a play to lower their
costs, yeah.
Yeah, lower the cost so the groceries are less.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool. I didn't even think about picking out the items.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What it said? I think Aldi, the typical Aldi, I think they said, if I remember correctly, has like 1,200 items, like
Okay.
individual things. Average grocery store, I think, has like 8,000. So just that alone just saves them so much money.
Yeah. Yeah. The one here right by me, I feel like the secret's getting out of Aldi because it just keeps getting busier and
Yep.
busier and busier. And it's an exploding business. They're putting them up everywhere.
Yes, they are.
All the ones that are
I mean,
around
we have
me.
3 within 5 miles.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bone to pick with our Aldi, though. No self-checkout.
Do the other ones have a self-checkout?
Mm-hmm.
They totally need a self-checkout.
Yeah, if you go to Cherry Hill, and the people won't know this, it's Cherry Hill and Wayne,
Okay.
the one in West End, they have self-checkout.
Okay.
The one at Ford and right before Middle Belt in Garden City, that's self-checkout. Belleville self-checkout. So yeah, ours doesn't have it. That's very disappointing.
Yeah. Aldi, Canton, Ford, and Lilly. Get yourself a self-checkout.
Yep.
Save so much time. Like the busier they get, the longer the lines get.
Yep.
You know, it's got to call the people over. They're usually pretty on top of it. I don't usually wait in line that long, but I'm a self-checkout kind of guy.
Oh, I love self-checkout.
Yeah. You get the arguments of like, if I wanted to work here, I'd do the self-checkout. Why are you making me do your job? And it's always people who think they're being fucking funny. Like,
Right,
that's not
yeah.
even an original take. Like, shut your mouth.
Yeah.
It's convenience.
Yeah.
It's
That's all it is.
I can hold a bag of fruit up to a thing that scans it, and I don't have to wait in line. Like, of course I'm going to do that.
Yeah. Super quick. I will use self-checkout every single time
Yeah.
without fail.
But yeah, one thing, I mean, the light stuff's fun. One thing I wanted to chat with you about on this podcast was the situation we had 5 years ago,
Right before COVID.
right before COVID, like the week before COVID.
Literally, yeah.
Yeah, we both went through a big breakup in our lives.
we
And
did.
it was just a wild circumstance. Do you care to share the story of what happened with you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm. It's 5 years ago. I'm good now.
All right.
Yeah. It was January of 2020.
Yeah.
I went to work. Everything was good.
Uh-huh.
Find out I needed to stay late, so I was like, okay, it's fine. Tell my wife at the time, hey, they just let me know. I got to stay a little later. She's like, okay, I'm just gonna go out with some friends tonight. I was like, okay, yeah, have fun. And it snowed, so I got home, and it snowed pretty heavily. So I was like worried. So I texted her. I think I texted her. I said, hey, it's getting kind of nasty outside. You're in Plymouth. I'm in Canton. If you need me to come get you, let me know. And this is at like 7 o'clock, something like that. Nothing.
7 p.m.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Nothing. Keep snowing. Do like 2 hours later, just checking in. Still nothing. It got to be like 11 o'clock and I still hadn't heard from her. So at that point, I'm like starting to worry. Like,
Yeah,
okay,
that's
what's going on here? Not about what actually happened, but just worried about her. And then I remember, so I was playing on my computer.
Can I ask? I'm going to stop.
Yeah.
Were you working in the office or at home?
In the office.
So you were working in the office?
Yeah, this is pre-COVID.
Okay. Well, I know, but we worked from home a little
Yeah,
bit before
yeah.
COVID, so I
Sorry.
was asking that. And then, I just wanted to comment, like, the not hearing back from a significant other, there's like a sinking feeling
Yeah.
in that, whether it's worry or like
Yeah.
something else fishy. And I could just totally empathize with that feeling. 'Cause
Yeah.
I've been
Yeah.
there
It was
before.
definitely just worried about her. Like, what happened? Is she in a ditch somewhere?
Yeah.
So anyways, it get to be like 11 o'clock. And I was playing on my computer, and I had a MacBook Pro. And we shared, like an account. Obviously we were married. I was like, oh, find my iPhone. I can make sure she's okay. So like no nefarious, like, what are you doing? Like, it's just like, hey, I just want to check on you, make sure. Pull it up. Shows she's in Trenton.
Huh.
I was like, well, that's kind of strange.
It's pretty strange.
All right. So I text her again. Said, hey, are you okay? Like, what's going on? And then she finally responded. She's like, oh yeah, and I didn't do it purposely, but I didn't say it shows you're in Trenton. I just said, hey, are you okay? And she's like, oh yeah, we just we had a few drinks, so I'm actually gonna stay at so and so's house tonight. She lives in Plymouth, and at that point I'm like, really?
Did you bring up the Trenton thing then?
Didn't know.
Yeah. And for context, anyone who's not local to Michigan, Trenton's a good 40 minutes away.
45,
from
yeah,
45?
at least. Yeah.
Okay.
So I said, okay, see you in the morning. And then when she called me in the morning. She said, hey, I'm leaving. I was like, okay, you want to tell me what's going on? She's like, what do you mean? I was like, well, this is when I said it. I said, well, it showed you were in Trenton last night. And she just said this. She's like, oh, that's weird. And nothing more. I was like, okay. So anyways, I'll be home in like 15, 20 minutes. So she gets home, walks in the door, and I was like, so do you want to tell me what's going on? She's like, I think you know. I was like, no, I don't. You want to tell me? She's like, yeah, I was with a guy last night. And that feeling, man, I tell you what, that is, I don't wish on my world. Like, your world is just shattered at that point. So yeah, then she ended up leaving, and then we talked over the next week or so, and then like a week later, she just said it was done, and it was a lot of pain, a lot of recovery, but I mean, I'm here 5 years later and doing all right. But yeah, it was rough. It was really rough.
Yeah, that is up there with what has to be the hardest feelings, like breakups. It just touches on every emotion. It's like it's fear, it's love, it's for me, one of my biggest just insecurities in life is like not being good enough, not being like lovable.
Yeah.
And the breakup just brings all that shit to the surface. And yeah, and right around the same time, we were texting and you said, I got some stuff to talk to you about at work the next week or whatever, the next day or whatever. And then literally at the exact same time as you went through that, it must have been the same weekend, I was going through a breakup. My fiance at the time texted me that she had slept with another guy.
Oh, Jesus.
And it was like during a rocky point anyways. And she was like, and it was like via text message. So it's just like,
that's so like, oh.
it's pretty lame.
Yeah.
But whatever. I always I think I might be overly compassionate, but with something like that, I'm like, I know how hard that could be to tell somebody. So like if texting's all you got, like whatever, I don't.
Yeah, I get that.
I don't hold a grudge. And she's like, I know you can never forgive me, was part of her thing. And I was just like, oh, I forgive you, but I have no interest in making any effort to make this work anymore. So we split. We went our separate ways. Yeah. And so you and I were going through this.
And then COVID,
And then fucking COVID. And I just remember us like leaning on each other heavily during like a very confusing time.
It was, yeah. We had those FaceTime calls. I remember those.
Yeah, we would do regular smoke breaks at work, but then we recreated it by doing regular just FaceTime smoke breaks.
Yep.
And to this day, it's hard for me. Like anytime I'm like FaceTiming, I feel like I need a cigarette. And I haven't had a cigarette in like 4 or 5 years, but just something about the
Right.
act of smoking. I
No, I
will
get it.
say, recommendation, the first cigarette of the day with a cup of coffee, like top 5 feelings of all time.
See, no coffee for me.
No coffee?
No.
So just cigarette, just raw dog and a cig, no coffee. Cig, no coffee?
Yeah.
Oh, man. All
Yeah.
right, well, did you know this about food? No. Exercise. Heard this. Exercise does more to improve longevity than literally anything else can do to decrease longevity.
I did not know that. No.
Yeah, so I thought of like, okay, what they say is like one of the biggest things is smoking.
Uh-huh.
But if you're exercising, they can just kind of cancel each other out. In fact, exercising does more for good than smoking does for bad.
Interesting.
So I think smoking's great. Despite all the controversy.
No, it's definitely something I need to quit. Definitely.
Yeah.
It's been on my mind for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And nicotine itself is not bad. Nicotine itself is
No, it's all
actually-
the added and the chemicals. And,
Right. It's the tar. It's like the whatever. It's the breathing in the hot smoke.
Mhm.
But, something to be said. Nicotine is shown to be like a nootropic.
Okay.
And it actually helps the brain function better.
Oh,
So,
did not know that.
yeah. Which you can sense. Like if you ever tried to quit and you've gone, like you can feel whatever serotonin or dopamine in the brain that fires off when you're smoking cigs regularly.
Mm-hmm.
It seems harder to. That's why I throw a patch on every now and then.
Oh, nice.
Still getting a little bit of nicotine, but
No,
kind of curbs my appetite for smoking.
okay, nice.
Any pet peeves?
I have a few.
Yeah.
I have a few.
What do you got?
Oh, this is one. So I've noticed places now, like, say you go to like KFC or something like that.
Uh-huh.
They have a sign now that says, "Today's chicken is from this farm." Like, I don't need to know. I don't want to know.
You don't
Like,
care?
No, because now I'm putting like a picture with the food, and it's
Oh,
thing.
and you're like, why are you naming my chicken?
yeah, like this is Earl, by the way. Like,
yeah.
I'm like no, I don't want to know that.
Yeah, you don't need to know your chicken's name.
No.
Where it's from.
No, a lot of places do that now. Like today's beef is from this farm in Idaho. Like, oh,
Yeah.
I put a face with it, and now I'm not going to enjoy my meal. And
I wonder what that is. I wonder if that's a new health administration or how long has that been a thing?
I just noticed in the last few months.
Okay.
I mean, I know one place that did it has been doing it for a long time, but it's strictly their potatoes.
Okay.
Is Five
Potatoes.
Guys? Yes, potatoes.
Why'd you hit the T so hard? You really stuck the landing on that T. Potatoes.
As soon as I heard it, I was like, "Why did you talk like that?"
Where did you get your potatoes? I might go to Five Guys and ask, where
Yeah.
are these potatoes from?
It's Five Guys. Yeah, they
Is it
always
really
say
Five Guys?
Yeah, it is.
Oh my God.
Because they say where they're from.
Uh-huh.
Today's
Potatoes.
potatoes.
That's the proper way to say it because it is a double T.
Yeah,
We kind of go D with it. Potatoes.
it's a Midwestern thing.
Yeah. Is it?
I
Is that
don't
an
know.
everybody thing? I'm curious how someone from, say, Colorado pronounces potatoes. Or Idaho. It's what they do there.
Oh, they're taters there.
Ah, taters. Well, tater.
Tater,
not,
yeah.
They're not taters.
No,
Who says taters? I've
Psychopaths.
noticed one thing about pronunciation. If you like really hit if a word ends in the letter T and you hit it hard, like I can't do that. Nerd.
yeah,
You ever notice that? But like really nerdy people will just really hammer home the letter
T.
T at the
Yeah.
end of a sentence. Yeah.
I wonder why that is.
Just because they're nerds.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Nerds, fucking nerds.
Yeah. Any other pet peeves?
Yep.
Now, you guys know that I don't promote anything that I don't actually use. And Gade Nutrition is something that I've been taking long before I ever had a podcast or YouTube channel. Their quercetin, zinc, vitamin C, vitamin D3 supplement has been a total game changer for me, and here's why. So I have a 6-year-old who brings home every cough, cold, flu, fever from school, and somehow I do not get sick. I've been taking this stuff regularly for 4 or 5 years, and in that time, I think I've gotten sick twice, maybe 3 times, and even then, it is so mild that I barely notice, and I get over it quickly. So if you're tired of getting knocked out by every little bug, give it a shot. Go to gatenutrition.com and use the promo code Chris5 to get 5% discount on all orders. Again, that's gatenutrition.com, promo code Chris5, link in the description. And of course, talk to your doctor or whatever. I'm not one of them. I'm just a guy who experiments on himself like a human crash test dummy for health. So another brand that I've been using well before I started this podcast is Nutricost. I found them on Amazon, but now I just order directly off their website. And I have been using this beta-alanine that they have for years and years. And then I use their casein protein for like post-workout recovery. Now, if you've never tried beta-alanine, a lot of pre-workouts have beta-alanine in it, but this is like the pure stuff. And what it is that stuff that gives you like the tingly sensation in your workouts and helps push further. And then the casein protein, I use it for like post-workout or like before bed. It's really good because it digests slowly, helps keep me full, and it fuels my muscles while I sleep. But right now, through the end of April, you actually get 35% off your orders when you use the promo code Relentless. So the link is in the description. Go there and help support the podcast.
So this one I've been noticing so we talked about Dexter earlier. Dexter was the first show I actually noticed doing this, is the extreme close-ups of things I don't need to see. Like the credits for Dexter, him like shaving, it's like this close to his face and you can see like every hair. I don't want to see, I don't want to see that.
Yeah. The extreme close-up, I think it's like an artsy move.
It is.
And it drives me up a wall.
Like especially I've noticed they do it now in shows when they're like making food. Like they get super close and like squeeze the lemon. Oh, I don't want to.
Yeah.
Or like when they're painting, they're like squeezing the tube onto. Like, that reminds me of the scene in Me, Myself, and Irene.
Oh, when ice cream?
Yes. That's what it reminds me of. Yeah.
Yeah. It's up on the wall somewhere.
Yeah,
there it is, right behind you.
Yep.
Get a shot of this, camera 3. Me, Myself, and Irene.
Yeah, great movie.
Yeah, I feel like they overuse that a little bit. I feel like like the quick cuts too.
Mm-hmm.
Like the close-ups are a lot of times paired with the quick cuts of here's where we are. We're in a coffee shop. Here's the cup of coffee. Here's the pastries.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the guy pouring the thing, doing the little art. Here's someone saying, Daniel, your coffee. Yeah, it's.
They do it a lot of like YouTube creators do that too, I've noticed. Like, oh, here's me getting gas, and it's like, open the gas flap, then it's cut to the pushing the button, then getting the gas. Just tell me you're getting gas and move on with your day. Like, I don't need to see. I believe you're getting gas. Like, you're not lying to me.
Yeah. As a former, like, kind of filmmaker, a little bit, like, as I went to school for, so we made, like, a couple of student films, whatever. It was always the really artsy-fartsy kids that wanted to do the close-up quick cuts.
Oh, I hate those.
Because whatever. But I always thought it was dumb. On our last podcast, I recommended something that I have to take back.
Really? What would that be?
Ritalin. So.
Oh, for Julian. That's right.
Yeah. So I probably talk about my kid too much on this podcast, but
it's your kid. You might as well.
Yeah, big part of my life. But I noticed with kids, if it's your own kid, you care about it like more than anything else.
Yeah.
But you gotta wrap your head around the fact that like pretty much nobody else gives a shit. Like nobody else gives a shit about your kid. So you gotta just accept that because unless it's like close family or friends, whatever. Anyways. We did great. He did great on the Ritalin for like a month.
Right.
And then it took a nosedive where it made him just so ornery and grouchy and
interesting.
Yeah. So then the psychiatrist bumped him up. So he went from the lowest dose in the morning and the lowest dose in the afternoon, 2.5, to adding to another 2.5.
So 5.
So he went from 5 total to 7.5 total. Okay. And he just took like I said, totally took a nosedive in just behavior and inability to like follow directions, reel him in, a bunch of other wild shit that I shared like a really, really heartfelt story on the Spotify bonus. So I don't really need to get into it here. Yeah, it got bad. It got ugly. But I will pair this with an actual recommendation.
Okay.
And that's if your child suffers from either like ADHD or like autism spectrum disorder, dial in the nutrition. I swear to God, we were on like week 3 of having his new nutrition plan look like this: meat, fruit, vegetables, nuts, and honey. And you can be really creative, and you can make a lot of really good tasting food with that, like cauliflower rice.
Love cauliflower.
We were talking about ice cream on the Will episode. You can make like with frozen banana, you can make like ice cream. But yeah, with the meat, you could do like eggs and bacon and fish. And it's enough to. But we went from days where like on a scale from 1 to 10, his behavior was like 1s, 2s, and 3s in terms of just like the wild shit.
Okay.
And 3 weeks into this new nutrition plan, we're having days of like 5s, 6s, 7s.
Nice.
Yeah, being as objective as possible.
Right, of course.
And that's literally the only thing we've changed. Like,
so is he still taking the Ritalin or no?
he's off the Ritalin.
Okay.
So
just the nutrition.
Yeah, so it's literally just nutrition. But I think that goes for like, even if it's not ADHD or autism spectrum disorder or anxiety, whatever, I think just like that alone, that anecdotal story of like, we changed nothing. And he went, he didn't go from like 1 to 10.
No.
But we went from 1s, 2s, and 3s to like 5, 6, and 7s. And we've had a few days that were like 8 and 9s. Like,
it's awesome.
And it's a world of difference. And it kind of pairs with this study that they did in the NIH where they went into, and I've shared this story on the podcast before, but it's worth repeating. They went into like juvenile delinquent detention centers.
Okay.
And places with really troubled teens, getting in fights every day, just can't handle authority, anything like this. And all they did, and I don't even know if they told the kids, but they swapped out their junk for nutritious food.
Okay.
And they found like a 100% reduction in behavior issues.
I'm sure.
Like a 70% reduction in restraints. Like a 200% reduction in like suicide attempts. It's just like, we as a fucking society need to start examining how important food is.
Yeah.
Like you see those pictures of like back in like the 70s, 60s and 70s, people on the beach. Like everybody was like looking okay. There's no like buff jack muscle, but everyone's like looking okay. And like the cases of mental health issues was so far less than. And now like all of our food, there's just so much bullshit in it.
It's all preservatives and everything, yeah.
Fucking preservatives, it's dyes, it's seed oils, it's chemicals. It's just like, read a label on a package like this. I don't know if it'll be in the, this is, look, this water that's like a organic strawberry lemonade. Half of this shit I can't even fucking pronounce. Retinol palmitate, pyroxene hydrochloride, cyanobalmine,
hydrochloride is not a good thing.
Tripotassium, stevia leaf, calcium, pantothentate. Like, who has a bottle of pantothentate on their counter? It just doesn't exist. So, like, I don't know, man. I am just so, like, slowly becoming just such a nutrition nut, and not just physical appearance. Like, fuck that. It's just cognitive function and development. It's so important. And
it's like the it was a while back, like the Facebook, it was a meme on Facebook. Like, it wasn't a meme, it was a picture of like Breyer's ice cream from like 1985, literally like 3 ingredients. Then they put a new one and it's half a page, which is crazy to me.
Yeah, and if you look into it, like, most of that shit isn't even allowed in other countries. You know, there's the thing about Canada versus the United States, and I think it was Fruit Loops or Trix cereal, something like that. Like, you look in the ingredients, same thing.
Yeah.
And all I want is just the option here.
Yeah.
I want Trix to stay on the shelf, but I want Trix minus all the bullshit to also stay on the shelf. And if it tastes 10% less good or lasts 10% less long because of the preservatives, like, fine. Yeah. Just give us some more options.
And you would think it'd actually be cheaper for them too, because you're not using all these other ingredients.
Yeah.
You think it'd be easier to produce? You
would think so. I don't know what the deal is, but, you know, if you can produce it in other countries, you can produce it here. And I mean, I hate to say this, I know like everything's expensive with inflation.
Yeah.
But if it costs $1 more, I'll pay $1
Yeah,
more.
I'm willing to pay it
for bullshit-free fucking Cinnamon Toast Crunch. You know?
Right.
Yeah. So my recommendation with any behavior issue, try to dial in that nutrition first.
Sure.
And I'm not anti-medication by any means.
Mm-hmm.
Like if we need to down the road try another medication, myself included, I'm not opposed to that. But
No.
let's dial in the stuff that we're feeding our bodies 3 or
Yeah.
4 times a day first.
Don't make medicine the crutch.
Yeah. It feels like a Band-Aid.
Exactly, yeah.
You know, it feels like a Band-Aid over a much deeper problem. And, you know, I'll talk about it till I'm blue in the face. We have an appointment with him to see a functional medicine doctor
Okay.
to help dial in even more. So maybe they'll say like, okay, you can loosen the reins on this a little bit, but maybe get a little more coconut oil, like MCT oil in his brain. Like with the Will episode, we talked about the brain being 80% fat or something like that. By getting enough like healthy fats in our diet, like it's super important for brain function and all that shit. And I'll get off my soapbox. I'll get off my nutrition soapbox. Sorry to the listener for going on that rant. I'm just
That's all right.
really fucking passionate about it because not only do I use myself as a human test dummy, but I also see it in my child, and it's like, fuck you, big pharma, and whatever. I went from like asking Big Pharma to sponsor this podcast
To just
fuck you,
fuck
Big
them
Pharma.
all.
Yeah. But yeah, that's a recommendation for me. Did you have any?
So I do. It's going to be the opposite of healthy food. I can tell you that.
Oh shit! Yeah. All right, let's hear it.
No, it's a quick dip recipe.
Sweet.
So, and I've actually just made it for like myself because you can actually it'll hold for probably a week or so.
Cool.
Cream cheese, block cream cheese. The recommendation would be to let it get to room temperature, but if you in a pinch, microwave it for a minute, good to go. Can of Hormel chili, no beans. So cream cheese, chili, then you get sharp cheddar and mild cheddar, about a cup and a half each.
Shredded or blocks?
Shredded. Okay. Well, you can do blocks. I mean, you didn't shred it yourself. It's up to you.
Oh yeah.
On top, microwave for 4 minutes. It's best dip I've ever had.
Really?
Oh, it's so good.
Okay. Well, we're gonna chop that up. We're gonna put it as a short. We're gonna see if it can beat the imposter chicken sandwich.
Oh man.
On TikTok, that was like my biggest video of all time. I swear to God, it hit like 155K.
No shit.
Yeah, so you're TikTok famous, dude.
Oh, sweet.
This guy
That's
goes
why
violent.
that's why people keep recognizing me.
Yeah, just down the street.
Yeah.
I had a dream that I was just on a walk in my neighborhood, and I looked into the window of a house, and I saw them on their big TV playing an episode of this podcast. But that can't be. The podcast gets like 100 views if I'm lucky. Like that's not one of my 100 views. It's 100 people that I know or that know.
Well,
the
you never
guest
know.
or whatever.
Stranger things have happened.
That's true. You know, it's not about views.
No.
Eventually, it's going to be about views. But right now, I'm just having fun and trying to get better at this whole thing. So I have another recommendation.
Okay.
You can hear the bag crinkling. So here, one thing I've always been a little self-conscious about is I have a jawline. It's just always been very,
Okay.
you know when things are.
Yeah.
My jawline is one of them. So on a whim, I got this jawline chewing gum. Again, no affiliation with this
I
brand.
didn't realize that was a thing.
And it literally exercises your jaw.
Wouldn't all gum do that though?
Yeah, but this is like really. Do you want to try a piece?
Sure.
It's like really. It's like rock hard.
Oh, then no.
Okay. It's really hard, and I hope I'm not chewing it too hard. Well, I'll save it. I'll wait for when you're talking.
Okay.
But I'll post the before and after photo in this video, and I went from like a very just smooth nothing jawline to like a little bit more definition around like the outer ends. It's like, in the gum pack, there's 40 pieces, and you chew one a day.
Okay.
And I was like, well, that to me sounds like a 40-day challenge.
Yeah.
See if I can make any movement on my jaw. And like I said, I'll post a photo. I don't know how good this camera is getting it, but I'll post a photo, and you can actually see a little bit different, a little bit of definition here.
Nice.
And I noticed I've been on a couple of video calls at work. I've been like,
Who's that guy?
I got a little more manly in my face. Got a little more Arnold Schwarzenegger jawline going on.
Nice.
Yeah. You got any recommendations?
I think I just had one more pet peeve.
Oh, yeah. Throw that peeve. But you always got those good recipe recommendations.
Yeah. So I have one more peeve, and I had because we were talking. We can go through this first because we were talking about like how the rap battle in 8 Mile is like one of the best movie scenes of all time.
Uh-huh.
So I watched a thing on Facebook with the guy he was battling against. I can't remember his name.
Mm-hmm.
And he was saying how before that scene, like he sat down with Eminem for like 2.5 hours, and they just like talked, and they got to know him, who he was, and stuff like that. And then the battle started, and he's listening. He's like, wait a second. He's coming after me. He's not going after the character. Like Eminem was literally saying things about him instead of the character. And
Really?
yeah, yeah. When we're done,
wow.
I'll find the thing for you. It's fascinating.
Okay, so it was the guy who played Hawkeye, Papa Doc in 8 Mile.
Yeah.
I wish I could remember his name. So, but I wonder how, because some of the things he picks on were referenced earlier on in the movie, like how he went to Cranbrook.
Yeah.
Did the actual guy go to Cranbrook?
I don't think so because I don't think he's from Detroit.
Okay.
I don't know though.
So maybe like a mixture of real stuff and
Yeah, he's like
movie stuff?
the one thing he pulled out is like, oh, my parents are married.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like when we're done, I'll find the video for you. It's fascinating.
Clarence' parents have a real good
Married,
marriage.
yep.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I never knew that.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I knew everything about Eminem and 8 Mile, but
Yeah.
learn something new every day. Yeah.
I can actually I taught you something about Eminem. That's a rarity.
Not too many people can say that.
Yeah.
I can think of one other person that taught me something in that sphere. Some random person. You know D12, his
Yeah.
like rap group.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's a guy in the group named Bizarre.
Yeah.
And I remember IMing somebody one time who's like a big Eminem fan about the people in D12, and I spelled Bizarre wrong. I did 2 Z's.
Okay.
And I think it's actually 2 R's, or vice versa.
Gotcha.
Correct me.
Okay.
That is the most nothing story I've ever told in my whole life. I do got another recommendation, though.
Sure.
I love stand-up comedy.
Oh, actually, I was gonna go. That's what I was gonna talk about. You and I both are huge fans of stand-up comedy.
I love it. And there's a comedian who more people need to know about.
Okay.
And his name is Fahim Anwar. I may have sent you a clip or two along the years.
Possibly, yeah.
I first discovered this guy 12 years ago when I was living in LA. I went to the Laugh Factory on a regular basis to go see the comics.
Mm-hmm.
And one regular there was this guy, Fahim Anwar, and nobody knew about him. He just would come and do killer sets all the time. And I was just like, oh, I wonder if he's ever going to be somebody,
Okay.
quotes, in quotes. And then years went by and I didn't hear anything about him or whatever. And then he popped up on the Joe Rogan Experience once, and I go, so he is in the circle. People are going to find out about him. And then he popped up on Rogan again, and then I followed him on YouTube. He is such a good follow on YouTube because he posts like weekly videos where it's just recordings of his sets, and he's just working on things.
Mm-hmm.
And they're usually right around 10, 20 minutes
Okay.
of just him working out jokes. And Fahim Anwar working out jokes is on the level of like some of the best comedians' stand-up specials.
Okay.
Like he is so funny and such a good joke writer
Mm-hmm.
that and he's getting more and more popular, which nobody deserves it more than him.
Okay.
But I still feel like he needs to be more people need to know about him. So Fahim Anwar, check out one of his videos where he's working stuff out, quote in quotes.
All right, I'll check it out.
And it's just nonstop, terrific joke writing, and he's so goddamn funny.
Yeah, the one for me is I just saw the special. I just happened upon it on like HBO Max or something like that. Is Ricky Velez.
Okay.
Apparently he doesn't do a lot of stand up, and this stand up I think is like 3 or 4 years old. But it's one of the funniest I've ever seen in my life.
Ricky Velez.
Yeah.
Is he in anything? Like is he?
No, I think I said it in our group chat, and Will said he Googled him. He's actually like a writer or something like that.
Okay.
So I don't think he's done anything other than that. But I happened upon it, and I've watched it like 3 times since then.
Okay. It's on what? Netflix, you said?
HBO Max.
Max. Okay.
But he has stuff on YouTube too.
Okay. Ricky Velez.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll check him out.
Yes, highly recommend it.
Sweet. I'm trying to think. There was a couple of specials out on Netflix right now in the stand-up realm. I've always been kind of on the fence about this guy. He's just exploded in popularity.
I think I already know who you're gonna say.
Andrew Scholes?
Oh nope,
Okay.
never mind.
But then there's Bert Kreischer who just dropped a Netflix special. I haven't watched that one yet.
Shane Gillis is another. He's so funny.
Oh, Shane is just...
Yeah.
Shane's one of those people who I consider in a very rare field where he's just beloved by everybody.
Mm-hmm.
There are those certain people that like reach...
We've talked about that before.
Yeah, there's certain people that reach a level of popularity and then everybody starts to sour on them.
Mm-hmm.
Bert Kreischer being one of them. I feel like The Rock kind of...
Dane Cook.
Yeah, people start to... But I feel like Shane, something about his demeanor and just the way...
He's just an everyman.
He's just kind of an everyman, and you don't really come across people who hate on Shane.
No, not at all.
Yeah. I will say...
I thought you were actually going to say Matt Rife, honestly.
Matt Rife, whatever. But you know who I'm actually...
It's like Mike Posner.
I hate to say it. Oh, fuck Mike Posner. I hate him. You know who I'm kind of starting to like... Bill Burr.
Really?
I swear to God. So, and this is just a me thing. He's one of the greats.
Yes.
He's one of the greats. They did this Mark Twain Prize award show for Conan, who Conan's one of my favorites.
Conan's great.
Yeah. There was a clip I saw of Bill Burr and...
Yeah, because him and Conan are good friends.
Yeah. So it was a clip of like Bill Burr before he went in. And he was just like, yeah, I don't know what I'm doing here. I don't know why we do an award for this guy. And it would almost to me seemed like now that Hollywood has gotten their hands on Bill Burr, he's just doing an impression of Bill Burr now. And I hate to say it because I'm still a fan, but it is, but I just feel like they're kind of watering down Bill Burr with all these like
I can see that
TV shows and movies and Broadway.
Yeah,
I feel like he's letting the Hollywood seep in a little bit.
Okay.
I don't like it. I want raw Bill Burr.
Yeah. Oh, okay. He's so funny.
Yeah, but he did have that bit on his new special about what was it? Guitar Center being the saddest place.
Yes.
I thought that was so funny.
That's so funny.
Yeah. Who else? Oh no, Andrew Scholes. Back to Scholes. He's a podcaster. He's just kind of exploding in popularity.
Okay.
He's kind of became popular with like crowd work, kind of like a Matt Rife. And, his demeanor, he's a little like, New whatever,
Yorkers?
kind of like black culture, whatever. I always kind of was like, being a little fake. But his special is very like, pulls back the curtain, kind of real and raw about his life and his experience being a new dad. And I recommend it. I thought it was really good. I got a ton of laughs out of it.
All right. I'll check it out.
Yeah.
Got a few on the list now. Good.
Yeah. What else you got? You got anything else?
Just the pet peeve.
Yeah.
So the example I'm going to use, it's not specific to a political party. I've just noticed it with the current environment, and it just kind of triggered me a little bit.
All right.
Is people that this cause is so important until something happens with that person or that cause, and now I actually don't even care about it anymore. Like with Elon, right? People are buying Tesla, and then he goes with Trump. All these people are literally selling their Teslas and buying gas vehicles. So the environment isn't important to you at all, apparently. It drives me up a wall.
Ooh, yeah. He's not the cool new flavor
exactly
of the month. And to be fair, whether you're pro Elon or anti Elon, just my personal take, he doesn't necessarily do himself any favors with some of the wild shit that he says and tweets and does. And he got called out for lying about being super good at a video game. Like some of the stuff you hear about him, I almost feel like he does controversial shit just to stay
relevant
zeitgeist. Yeah. Almost like a Kanye West type thing.
Yeah, maybe.
That's another one that's wild. But yeah, I do find it funny. It's like we all establish our tribe, and what if you go against the tribe at all, that's a big no because whatever. But yeah, with the Elon thing, he's such a polarizing figure that I see it from afar, and I'm kind of a notebook guy where I just kind of see what people. You were either like all in on Elon and everything he does with the government efficiency and the Neuralink and the getting to Mars. You're like, he's the greatest thing ever. Or you're not a fan and everything. He's a moron.
It's crazy how polarizing one person can be, I guess.
Yeah.
And like I said, just because who he aligns with now you just hate him automatically. That doesn't make my mind doesn't work that way.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm a person, I can separate, like, say, a good actor from their politics. I don't care what like, you're a good actor. I don't care what your politics are.
Yeah.
It doesn't affect me in the least.
Uh-huh.
But the way that people can't let it go is just drives me crazy.
Right. I wish that some entertainers would back off the using my platform for
Agreed.
good, whatever your stance.
Yeah, whatever side you lean to, it doesn't matter.
You get it a lot at the Oscars where they're like accepted speech.
Oh, yeah.
They're like, I want to thank this person. Oh, and
by the way, support this. Yeah, no.
Yeah, insert this take about my political party.
Like, I'm an educated human. I can make my own decisions. I don't
Yeah.
need an actor or an actress to tell me what to do.
Yeah, you pretend to be somebody else for a living.
Right, there you go.
Why would I, and
That's
I
a
can't,
great way to look at it, actually.
You know?
I never even thought about it that way.
I know,
That's a great way to look at it.
why would I care about your stance on
Exactly.
economics,
Mm-hmm.
whatever? Rather talk to somebody who knows a thing or two, which isn't me.
Nor am I.
I don't know a thing about economics. Yeah, I got everything here, but
Okay.
in case I cut something, so a new bit that I'm gonna try live on this podcast that I've never done.
Okay.
I have 21 questions that I've never looked at
Oh, okay.
inside
this is the
a hat.
ChatGPT thing you're telling me about.
Yes, I asked ChatGPT come up with 21 good questions for me to ask on my podcast.
Okay.
It knows all about my podcast. I tell it about it.
Well, it knows everything.
It knows everything. Okay.
Oh.
So here's what I'm going to do
My
as
guinea
just
pig?
as a closing bit. I am going to pull a question and
Read it.
ask you this question.
Okay.
Okay. And again, I've never looked at any of these questions. I think I might have gotten a glimpse of like one or two of them, but I haven't committed them to memory.
Okay.
So here is a question. If you had to remove one of these from existence,
Okay.
which one would it be and why? And here are the things.
Mm-hmm.
Music, movies, or books?
Oh, my Lord. That is wow.
Had to remove music, movies, or books? I had an answer pop into my head, but now I'm debating it. And I'm going to say with books, it would also eliminate audiobooks.
Okay. I would probably have to go books.
You'd have to go books?
Yeah, just because music is like what I like associate my life with.
Uh-huh.
Like, and movies are just, I mean, I couldn't watch Dumb and Dumber anymore.
I know.
That would be.
Yeah. I have to go books too, though, like that's the first one that popped in my head. And at first I thought it was an easy answer.
Because you saw audiobooks.
Well, yeah, but because music and movies are just so intertwined with my life and I enjoy them so much.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just like, oh, books. Like I could not read. But out of all three media, the most profound things and most impactful to my life have been books.
Yeah.
Like 12-step recovery, we do it all out of a book. And if I didn't have that book, I don't know how else I would have absorbed the information that has kept me sober. So, man.
Yeah, I don't do a lot of reading, but I read the same book at least once a year. And I've done it for 17 years now.
Okay.
I always read it once a year. And
What
that's
book?
Catcher in the Rye.
Oh, okay.
Love that book. So good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I used to be a lot more into books though too. Like I kind of got away from it with my job and stuff like that. But it's definitely something I want to get back into because I literally have like not a library, but I have several books in my office that I need to read.
Yeah. Okay. Books are tough too, like on a global level. Like none of the religious literature was ever printed.
Oh,
Imagine
good call.
that.
Wow.
What's your take on religion? Has it benefited society or has
Right.
it like been a bad thing for society?
So I guess so within the question then, is it you are eliminating books from the media from ever existing, or you can no longer use that media moving forward.
It says if you had to remove one of these from existence,
Oh, so books never
books
existed.
never became a thing. But it's like, how were books never a thing, but
Yeah,
music and movies were?
yeah.
You wrote a movie, but the idea of a book is just like, what's that?
Well, then, if books never existed, think about some of the movies you would lose then too.
You'd lose a lot of movies for sure, but I would be willing to take the hit
Yeah.
on movies that were based on books.
I would say for me, the number one is going to be music. That would be like, no way, and I could ever get rid of music.
Yeah. Yeah, music is because like you can't watch a movie or read a book just in transit doing, yard work or driving at a party. You just have a music play or a movie playing in the background. Yeah, I would go books.
Yeah, I have to go books.
But man, life would be
weird.
Life would be crazy. Like what would happen to religion? Would there be churches still, synagogues?
I would say of the three, the books is probably the one that would have the biggest world impact.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anything else you wanted to talk about?
No, I'm good.
Okay, cool. I didn't really love that question. I might cut all that, but fist bump, and we'll see you back on in about 40-ish days when
Right around,
Will
yeah.
comes back, and we'll double down. But
Always.
good stuff.